Good evening. Just woke up from a nap. It's very warm here. It's been in the 90s yesterday and today. I just want to touch on our prostitution industry, and let me start off saying I think that guys that pay for prostitutes should probably go to prison for the rest of their life. And let me tell you why. Because when you look at the prostitution industry globally, they are trafficking children, they're trafficking teenagers. You could see the Bula, what was the Habula in the Middle East that took all those 300 and something schoolgirls, and they were like, oh, we're going to marry them. The reason why it's very, very bad is because it devastates the structure of the family, and it degrades the whole community to a point to where the education system, why do you need an education system if all you're going to do is suck dick and take it deep in the ass? or just be somebody's sexual toy. So you become an in object. You become a non-human, and it's not only females; it is males. We just had an incident here in Memphis where this young boy was on his way somewhere and he got raped. So. And I'm glad he was very brave. He said something, because usually, usually the victim, they're like, oh, because you got raped, then you're a faggot, or you got raped and you're nasty. So it makes for a culture where it's more acceptable to brutalize and torture and cause a lot of pain and diseases to the very vulnerable and the very young. To where, like in this neighborhood, most of these children with the sexually transmitted diseases and their eating habits is diabetes. Stop drinking the milk, cut down on the red meat at a young age, get rid of the box of cereal, and get rid of the soda pop. Try it. But anyway, at a young age, they got diabetes. I was looking at some people over here, they have a layer underneath their skin, like of white pus, white mucus, and the guy was saying that, because I was like, I got arthritis too. He's saying his arthritis is caused by infection, and I could see his legs is swollen. They look sort of like elephant. They don't have no ankle. You know how I have an ankle? They don't. The shape, and oh my God, it's hot. The shape of it is just, it's not there. I'll put the pen on me. There we go. and that's a cool drink. I just got it in here. Well, it was cold right before I fell asleep. But it's not like coffee or anything. So, but anyway, and it's a multi-million-dollar business. It's just like, in a way, sort of, you might say the same people that are interested in making their money off of prisoners are the same people that are interested in keeping most of the population uneducated, not well fed, because they're making money off of people's miseries. Anyway, that is, we have a culture now to where, all the women I know pretty much, well, not pretty much, but we're single. And I hear a lot over here, like, and I know it comes from, like, oh, you know, like the sex industry, because I think these guys are living in some la-la fantasy world that this is like some glamorous, and that I have I sort of, if I know guys like that, then I don't have respect for them, because you know what I'm saying? Because like sometimes, you know, well, it's not like the woman is gonna have sex, or that sex trader it's in there anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes you want to have sex with somebody, you want to be in there somewhere. You know. But you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And you know, and so like at my age, you know, but you know, let him go. You know, let him hang out with his boys. You know, bros, you know, against hoes or whatever that shit is. You know, go watch Abbott and Costello and think that men's just supposed to hang out and live in the same house together. You know, Jerry Lewis, it's normal for two men like that, and they're not gay, they're heterosexual. You know, it's like, but anyway, eventually what happens with the boys, that, like, let me show you another example. This guy's a pimp, and he's a dancer, and eventually, and he was like photographing women, and he was pretty dirty and doggy to the women, but he thought he was, you know, part of this, you know, he worked for somebody else, you know, they was able to make sure that he got, you know, drugs really cheap to get to his women and stuff like that, and sell drugs too. But anyway, so eventually, but he started dancing, and and then somehow he ended up doing X-rated movies with men, and I just watched the decline, because the guy will turn quicker than a woman. You know what I'm saying? And if you see how fast a guy will flip, you know, you lose a lot of respect. But I think that the one things that help in a family situation is that if a child between the age of 9 and 15 is geared towards a career, geared to understanding that they're most productive in maybe they're making money, be in their 20s. That's why there's a lot of taboo with early pregnancy. But pregnancy ain't never stopped nobody from learning. Pregnancy has never stopped nobody from getting a job to feed themselves, to clothe themselves. Okay, it just, if anything, I've seen people I didn't think was ever going to work get up off their ass because they had a responsibility. So during those years, it's very important that you let them, guide them to understanding that they have to look for a career. That the importance to, you know, their happiness, and to their financial well-being is going, you know, and opposed to like not talking to them and not. I think it's very important because outside people, outside evil people come in, and sometimes I've seen them work on the woman. You know, like pedophiles, and they try to, they'll wiggle their way, and you know, and you try to tell them, man, that guy, you know, because like, yeah, I know he's a pervert because he's already coming on to me. But you can't say that to the woman because she thinks it's some competition. Sex industry got it looking like it's some competition. You know, hookers are hollering at the men, and you know, men see this movies. So I think the most important thing is that we have a lost generation. The same way it took one generation just separating them from their parents and introducing this noise to them, this greediness that they have. You know, prostitution is dangerous, and I do believe that the only way to stop it is the men that are seeking sex in that way should just go to prison for the rest of their lives. Because the harm that it does to the community, not only it's affected our education system, it's affected our financial, it's affected our health, and it has made some children's life a nightmare, and I think that children deserve more, you know. And I think that you know, women, you have to think. Like, I get it all the time. Oh, you supposed to be one a man. You're a woman. You supposed to. I'm a female first and foremost, and I'm not gonna be up in this house with somebody thinking I need to weigh on them hand and foot. So, like, if that's the case, I'll give me a foster child. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? But sex is irrelevant. I'm not having any more kids. I mean, especially when you're going to menopause. If you have to find someone that's nice, that I like, and that likes me. Yeah. It ain't about, you know, like the guy, I like you, you got pretty eyes, let's fuck. It's like, yeah, well, I'm not in there anywhere. So I'm not interested. I want to be in there somewhere. You know, at least like the motherfucker. So, and it's irrelevant to the guys that, and it makes it even, their wants and their needs, I can give a flying fuck. They sure the fuck don't care about. So anyway, but there is a culture difference, because I when I was looking at these documentaries on prostitution, but the number one, the underlying thing that you have is that it like in South America, it makes it for an area where it makes it easier to traffic drugs. It gives it a rape environment, like in India, in some of the places in the Middle East, to where men think that, you know, well, all women are like this prostitute, or all women are like the X-rated thing. And like, I seen a thing on TV for Viagra for women. What the hell? That's ridiculous. You want to turn a woman on? You know, think about the time when you was 9 and 10 and you hang out with the females. I don't know if they did or not, or your sister. Well, and you know, you were sitting there and you know, you playing tag, and you know, you're sitting there, you're doing a project, or you're making some food together. You know what I'm saying? If you don't have that type of feeling, like I can hang out with this person, it's not, you know, it's not gonna happen. It just ain't, you know. And plus, like, I mean, and also it makes it for a very well, it makes it seem like these children around here are not going to live as long as their parents have, because of the sexually transmitted disease, because of, you know, you do need to have a little bit better education that help a person really survive. And I mean, they're like I'm naive in the way they're doing things. Like, there's one family over here, you know, they I guess the, you know, like, I guess like when, like in the 50s, like the welfare, let's just put it on that, didn't allow the men to live in the house if they wanted to have support for the child. So then you had this thing where men would just pretty much float around from house to house and have more. So like this one guy over here, I guess he said he had 17 kids. And one of his families, you know, like, they saw their dad as you know, as a pimp. No, basically he was living off of women and he was homeless. But anyway, I guess he died, and so like so when his kids were young, and they both graduated from Mitchell High, you know, they was gonna be gangsters. They're gonna be like grandfathers. But you know, like I'm like, wow, you should have been, you know what I'm saying? Because if you sat on a tree like the old guys used to do and hear the whole story, it ain't all. It's not what they wanted at all. So anyway, to that amount of time, the you know, the son was selling marijuana, crack. Well, not the daughter selling her vagina. And the son ends up in prison. The daughter ends up on welfare, living in a HUD house with 2 kids. And the 2 kids are showing signs, and they're like, 6 and 9, 6 and 8, something like that, and already showing signs of sexually abuse, through their, non-appropriate behavior, which, like the little girl's grandfather, like he's telling me like, oh, you turned off to men. Like he thinks there's something wrong because I don't like nobody to grope on me or touch me or something. Or he thinks there's something wrong with a female that doesn't think that she's going to get rich off of somebody buying. Anyway, so they didn't get rich. Oh, the same thing with another girl in New York when they changed over. From like used to be able to walk, or now like it is now. Used to be able to have an ounce or under, it was just fine like it was now. In '78, I believe they changed it when they brought crack in. They started the police in the school, and it was all about sex industry and the drug industry. So because they had 42nd Street where they had like sex arcades and stuff. So that's why during those it was like I would say definitely around the age of 9 up to really until they get ready to go to college, you give them extra attention for the fact is that if people prey on them, people try to build a wedge between the family, and so if you do activities with your child on like I don't know how to say that word, but like getting them involved in their education to where they're thinking about a career. They're thinking even if they want to, maybe they might want to work at Boeing. They don't always have to be a lawyer. Maybe they want to be a machinist. Machinists make good money. Maybe they want to, climb the top of a skyscraper and build skyscrapers, or maybe they want to draw bridges and become an architect. You can open up their eyes through the internet, through books, to opportunities, and all the information is there. The younger they are, the more their sifts they are. But prostitution in this country has caused a lot of disease and death and financial woes. And you can see that like in St. Louis, in Chicago, in the areas where they're the most devastated and poor, you have the highest prostitution, and this is a fact.